I will be probably really hyped here. We're gonna see Dimir Rogue against Dimir Control, two Dimir decks, but with a different idea behind. This is gonna be really interesting. So we have the Dimir Rogues here of ondrejstrasky. We saw the deck before. We know what the deck can do. The Sarah Sen here can actually tackle the Shark Typhoons. There are not many permanents you're gonna get from the TheAsianAvenger deck, but Shark, maybe some Planeswalker, but there's not many targets. But the goal here for Andres, try to get some early aggression in game 1, and then in game 2, you actually go also more of a demon control style deck. I'm really looking forward to this, and maybe we try to mill opponent, but then again, there's a midnight clock.
It's true. It's true.
Here we see the deck with the midnight clock, which is a really sweet deck, really sweet card to try to tackle Rogue if you force the Rogue into the mill plan. Obviously, the strategy Andre chooses is not to mill opponent here, but you have your negates here. You have many spot removal, many cheap removal as well. Yeah, this is gonna be a really interesting match. You also have 3 Shark Typhoons main, which is really nice. There's not many card hate cards in the main. We have 1 Elspeth Nightmare, but usually those cards are going to side in, and I think this is a really close one. Also, I have to mention there are 2 Cling to Dust in the main. This could be really huge. Really huge here.
Not only that, but we've got the Lockmere Serpent on sideboard, we've got Zareth, we've got the Skyclave Shades. Like, there's a lot on the sideboard specifically for rogue decks.
Yep, exactly. So we have 2 different type of Dimir decks with 2 ideas, and what I love is that TheAsianAvenger brewed this deck just recently. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna play this type of deck, and I was just talking with him shortly. It's like, since when is Control the villain? I mean,
since always.
Isn't that the story, right? The Control player is always the villain. No matter how much you like playing Control, there is usually a bigger group of people who says, no, it's not Control, it has to be mid-range, it has to be aggro, and as sorry as I am, you are the villain with Control.
You are.
Are you ready?
It's just how it goes. All right, we are ready. Are you guys ready? Is everyone ready for this final match of the F2KUnited Invitational?
Yeah. So
we've had about 40 players battle it out, and it's now the final 2.
Yeah. Do you have predictions here? Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. No.
I'm thinking.
So I guess you have no predictions. So I also am not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard here. Both amazing players, both F2K members. Obviously, we are not biased here. Love to see this final. Both been awake for a long time. This is 10 hours here as well. It's getting late for Andre since he's also in Europe.
Yes.
But still a really long time to play here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, and let's go.
All right, here we go. So this time we actually get to see the board of TheAsianAvenger.
Yeah, so we saw here the coin flip going in favor of Andre.
Not a terrible opening hand.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, you do not like to see the Ugin on your main hand since it's the one-off in your deck, but we saw there's a mulligan on Andre's side.
Ooh. Let's see what his hand is going to be. I love how just ready to drop his Triumph.
Yeah. This is like a thing I saw TheAsianAvenger doing all the time. He has already his card ready because he knows his next play, right? But if he would draw a Scryland, I'm pretty sure he would change his decision.
I think that's one of the things that makes him maybe slightly less villainous as a control player is he actually plays really quickly.
He plays really quickly. That's completely right. For control player, he plays definitely really quickly, and I think this is because there's no specific colored hat on his head. Okay, so we're gonna see.
So Whew, interesting cards.
Yeah. I think you want to pass here, right? I mean, you have your creatures, and now you go like, please do not have spot removal. This is really good here.
To see that Maze Mind Tome Blade so that Andre can go ahead and get a creature out easy.
Yeah. Another one. So we already see 4 mill. So this is a fast milling here. Attack triggers double the effect of the Soaring Foe Thief, which is 4 mill.
Ooh. Lost some pretty decent cards there too. But I mean, that may be a slightly good thing since we kind of need some land here.
Exactly, yeah. So what we're gonna see is actually trying to find the lands, finding answers here, and here you actually want to eliminate, right? Otherwise, you already have your 8 cards in your graveyard, and you don't looking forward to this. Obviously, he doesn't know there's a guild enforcer now.
But we know.
We know. So
and there's that enforcer.
Yep. Which
now and there goes a land.
Yeah, 6 card in graveyard plus the attack is 8 cards, so the rogues activate here, and the tribal effect is activated. We have now the Drown in the Lock to counter all the cards. We want to counter here, and still looking for lands. Having the upkeep here is important to try to find another land here. Yeah, you don't want this card. You really want to find that land here.
Brutal.
Yeah, this is brutal because now you could have Shock Typhoon to actually play the land in your turn, or you want to keep your neutralize up. So this is a really tough spot because the Shock Typhoon is going to be a 1/1 and is not enough to actually efficiently block a creature.
Exactly. Brazen Borrower, not terrible.
This is
but
a classic.
Still not the card we need.
This is a classic. Sometimes you play against Rogue and you want to have a land and they just mill all the lands, and then you draw another land and the next card's a land.
All the time.
Yeah, this is a classic.
Yep. All right, so they're gonna go ahead and just kill the shark so that they can get that damage in. Andre is not playing around. He just wants to get Krim dead before he can steal the board state from him.
There's only one count on hand. There's only one count on hand, which is huge. Okay,
this is kind of a land, not the land we want, though.
It is kind of a land, right? But so you can play the Brazen Borrower to block at least the creature. So Brazen Borrower is somewhat of a pseudo removal since there's only one counter, and there's a Gatwick. There's a Gatwick.
Gatwick. The land. So going to remove. Oh, yeah. Not going to remove. Okay. Going to play it as the blocker to kill. Well, try to kill the Thought Thief, but
this is good.
Will he play it?
So I think I like this play here. The problem with Extinction Event is here that the Thief is even and Enforcer is odd. But then again, you have Shadow's Verdict on your hand, which doesn't care about odd or even, and he lets it go.
Okay, so saving that Drown in the Lock for something worse.
Yeah, and now we're gonna see the Gatwick, and the Gatwick is odd.
Ooh. That Essence Scatter isn't going to be very helpful, but maybe it'll come in play.
So this looks now really good for the TheAsianAvenger here. Will he go for the Shadow's Verdict?
Oh, absolutely. He does not want Gatwick on the board.
Yeah. So decides to go for the Verdict over the event. Probably more mana efficient, right? It's the more mana efficient play. So if you would draw a land here, you actually got double spell.
Right, so Andre is debating whether or not to play that Enforcer. Looks like he decided not to. Looks like he's probably just gonna wait.
Yeah, so if you're in the TheAsianAvenger's shoes, you think, okay, there cannot be any into the story. And what I like is he just slams the shark here. There could have been an into the story. It's like, no, you don't have it. It's like he knows it. There's some magic ability of Prim here. It's like, oh, no. I know. And it works out. But again, no lands. And he's checking the graveyard and goes like, okay.
He's like, there's all my lands.
Okay, I see what you do here. Well, gonna be interesting.
And passes the turn.
Yeah.
He's not going to attack. He's going to wait to block.
Yeah, I definitely like it. There's so much
Ooh,
removal on
double
Ondrej's
Heartless
turn.
Act.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're happy to see mana being spent there, and you can easily negate here, which is actually nice. Because now, if Ondrej would feel safe with the Into the Story, you have another counter. But obviously, we don't know the situation. Passes the turn, goes over.
Eliminate of our own.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to attack this turn.
Yep. So it's going to attack because there is an eliminate, which is an instant removal here. I like doing this here in the upkeep. If Ondrej decides to keep this creature alive, you have to use a Drown in the Lock, which is your only answer to non-creature spells.
All right, so I cannot see what he just drew.
Yeah, lol mage.
Ah, okay. So we can easily counter this.
Yeah, I think you want to counter this.
But he can counter the counter.
Yep. But then again, there's an extinction event for even. If you counter here, you lose the last card that actually works against non-creature spell, which is so scary from Ondrej's side.
He's really debating.
Yeah, so you want to keep the tempo up because as long as the game goes, and if you don't find your Into the Story, it's going to be hard. But it's really risky to do it. Finds the land here. Well,
all right, so he's gonna go ahead and just keep attacking. He's got to make up for the lost life. All right, so going with that Heartless Act, letting it die.
Here. Yep.
And we have another Lul Mage, which isn't going to be super helpful right now.
And now we can activate the Barons. We can activate the Barons, make the Barons stronger. And Drown in the Lock obviously works against the Baron, and so does Eliminate, but they're not. Heartless Act is not the best card there. Yeah, I like the tone.
So going ahead to play that Maze Mind Tome.
Yeah.
Ooh, is this where we see Drown in the Lock? Ooh.
Yeah. This card gives you card advantage, so you definitely do not want to see that.
All right, we got a Brazen Borrower on the board now.
Yep. Oh my god.
Not on the board, but in hand.
There's an Ugin on hand and 7 lands on the field. Another counter. I think at this point, you feel comfortable. You don't want to activate the Barons because it costs you actually 5 mana if you attack, since the Barons will tap. But yeah.
Probably so it looks like Ondrej is maybe considering playing the Borrower as a... Nope, never mind. No, he wants to scry.
He wants this Into the Story or a counter to buy more time. And here he found
there's the counter.
Yeah. And also Drown in the Lock works against Barons. So this is an interesting... This would have been a really interesting spot if he decides to use Drown in the Lock. I need to read Drown in the Lock again if it's a non-creature permanent or not.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I know you can remove a card or not, but this is actually really, really important in this spot. And I'm not 100% sure here, but yeah, I mean, it's a counter and a removal at the same time.
Oh, there's the Into the Story.
That's the Into the Story. But there are 2 counters as well. Yeah, it says target creature, so it doesn't mind if it's actually a land.
A decent amount of land. We've got plenty of counter spells in hand, spot removal. Well, I guess not spot removal, but removal.
Yep.
And an Ugin whenever we think we need it.
Yep.
And meanwhile, we're just making some really big lands.
So it's really nice that you make sure that both Barons get something here, right? But then again, Ondrej has 2 answers. Ondrej has 2 answers to the Baron, one in the Eliminate and one in the Drown of Lock. So I think at this point you kind of want to eliminate it, right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Tapped out, right? But then again, it's your turn and you spend 2 mana, and now you want to Into the Story. This is where you want to.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah. So it is really dangerous sometimes to do this type of play against the rogue deck. But then again, now Ondrej's tapped out.
Like, he went ahead and got rid of that Essence Scatter, and we have Ugin on the board, which can be bounced.
Yeah, which can be bounced. Bounced into counter is a possibility here. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a bounce here.
I would be surprised if we don't. No one wants Ugin on the board. All right.
Oh, I like this. So this is really interesting here, right? You have 8 mana. If you lose this Baron, you'll go back to 7. So the removal spell, the eliminate there on Ondre's hand is huge.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of reviewing what he has in graveyard, what they have in graveyard. Looks like he's just gonna pass the turn.
Yep, I think passing the turn here and try to play a bit of a slow game again makes sense to me. But then again, we have only 20 cards left in the Crim's deck, and I'm not 100% sure if we saw the clock in the graveyard of the Asian Avenger.
Now he's trying for the Brazen Borrower, which he's going to allow.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I mean, he has the Heartless Act, so.
I mean, you have 11 life, right? And 11 life.
11 versus 11.
Yeah. Then again, you get milled. This is also an alternative win con for Ondrej. And as I mentioned before, if you manage to mill the Midnight Clock, then this is a reasonable win con.
Absolutely. Ooh, so he's actually putting it on the board again. And there's the eliminate.
Yeah, I wonder if he wants to actually get rid of those cards.
Oh. So he's got another one of the Shadow's Verdict.
Yeah, I honestly believe Ondrej has the mindset of winning this on milling, because there is no card that he fears right now. The worst card would have been the potential Barons, but finding the eliminates, finding the right cards, definitely help you.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
It is a fun one, but then again, you want to keep the neutralize up. So I'm not too sure if we saw the Midnight Clock in the graveyard, but that's maybe only out here for the Asian Avenger.
Maybe he'll just magically top deck it.
Yep.
Nope.
That's a no.
And he just doesn't have enough land to really do two things.
Yep.
To be able to play the Ashiok and protect it at the same time. So it's just so much back and forth.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth, but look, checking the graveyard here, let's see if there's the clock. The Midnight Clock is not in the graveyard, so there is still a way for the Asian Avenger to get into the game. So you need to play the Midnight Clock with some counter backup. But then again, Ondrej has 2 drown in the lock and 1 didn't say please. So he's gonna. The thing is, in this matchup,
all right, he's just like, I gotta play something. We're gonna slam this Ashiok. It's probably gonna be countered, but you know what?
Yep, I think you have to do something here, right? You have to get at least some counter out, and let's actually see. Wow, okay.
Ooh.
This looks not that good anymore. The moment Ondrej was able to play into the story, refilling the hand was huge, and we see 3 drown in the lock on the hand. It's like, yeah, okay, I can get rid of 1, no problem.
All right, so easily countering that Ashiok with the plethora of counter spells.
Yep, and also there's a thief on hand if you want to keep milling opponent.
Absolutely.
There we go.
All right, let's see what he mills him for this time.
Yeah. So Essence Gather is probably the most dead card in this matchup, because there is no creature in Asian Avenger's deck.
That Cling to Dust, though, that's gonna come in handy.
Sorry, not no creature. There is actually Gatwick. there is actually Gatwick, but yeah, let's say almost no creature. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So I think we're gonna see a scry. Yeah, exactly. I think all Ondrej wants here are creatures. Oh, here we go. That's a creature. That's actually a powerful one.
terrible right now.
Essence Scaler is a good draw, but again, I think the main way to win this is through mill.
And Andre's gonna let it be countered.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna find a land here. Just play the land and keep to the strategy. Andre is like, yeah, I just have all the time. Just gonna let you play your cards. If you play a threat, I'm gonna counter it. If not, I'm gonna make you draw your library. And if I see the clock, I'm gonna counter it. In the second game and third game, potentially, having 2 clocks maybe helps a lot.
All right, so utilizing that Cling to Dust to get a few things out of graveyards,
Yeah.
gain some life.
Yeah, also mainly just to draw a card, right?
Oh, finally, another land.
I like the Elspeth Nightmare here. So you are kind of forced to counter the Elspeth Nightmare because the
Absolutely.
Elspeth Nightmare would actually get a counter from your hand. And here we're probably going to see a counter into counter.
He's debating.
Yeah.
He's thinking about it. It looks like he's going for the didn't say please.
Yep. Starting off with the didn't say please here. And I'm pretty sure, wow.
He let it go through.
Wants to
Interesting.
keep up the neutralize. I mean, I guess so, because you don't have a 2-mana removal spell. And then again, 4 cards less in the library. 7 cards left for the Asian Avenger
There's
here.
another into the story.
Yep. So this is the plan. This is the plan from Andre. Just
Oh,
my God.
hey! Midnight clock. But
This is the card.
is it too late?
I just don't think it will be able to go on the board, because if there would be 1 land more, you could technically win the counter war. But then again, Brazen Borrower stops the counters at some point, and that's all you have to do, right?
Exactly. We needed that
So-
midnight clock much, much sooner.
At this point, if you're in Andre's shoes, you know this you just mill and you have all the answers for Midnight Clock, and this will probably go to game 2.
All right, so going ahead and countering that Thieves Guild Enforcer. Scrying.
It's just impressive how Andre instantly knew from the beginning how he's going to tackle this game, what are his best win chances, and it is just playing actually nothing and mill, which is an alternative
Absolutely.
win con you have in Rogues.
I mean, that's kind of one of the signs of like a really good player, right? Is like just being able to look at your opponent's deck and knowing how it's going to be played, and then figuring out the best strategy against that, which isn't always aggression.
Yeah, so if we're gonna see a counter here, then we're probably gonna see a scoop, but now we're fighting for it. We're fighting for it.
We are fighting. I think Andre will win this war.
Yep. And if
This
you
is
win
our
this war,
last hope.
yeah,
Our last hope.
yeah. So that's I like this one here. Going again for the didn't say please to make sure you don't lose 4 extra cards. This is really cool. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was the last out here.
Yep.
Definitely going to include another clock here, just to make sure this doesn't happen. But here the shades are amazing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Pretty sure we will not see the Essence Gather. But I think it's really, really interesting is first the name of the deck, which is Invitational.
Invitational.
And second, why are there 2 negate artworks? I'm pretty sure there are people here or in his chat, look at Crim. You have 2 different negate artworks. Why did you do that?
Because
Like,
he likes both of them.
that is possible. That is definitely possible. But I think you want to get rid of, not of the Essence Scatter, sorry. You get rid of the Essence Scatter off Andre's side. And here, I mean, Shades are definitely the best card to beat this deck. Shades, Recursion, comes back over and over. You take out Neutralize, 3 mana removal is kind of expensive, right? If the opponent just plays different removals, but I just love the double negate here. Okay.
All
So
right.
we see the Asian Avenger finish the sideboarding. Now Andre still thinking of what he should improve. But I think for Andre, it's the same principle. You mill opponent, you make sure the clock will never hit midnight, and that's about it.
Round 2.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Asian Avenger can make a comeback or if Andre is just gonna seal it for a 2-0.
Yeah. So I mean, both great guys, both F2K players, both deserve the win here. Who will be it, Andre or the Asian Avenger? And yeah,
I'm
2-0
still
or 1-1.
rooting for Team Corgi.
You are still rooting for Team Corgi.
It's like this. It's just kind of a thing. All Corgi owners, we just kind of have to like root for each other.
I like dogs.
We don't make the rules. It's just
I
the
like
rules.
dogs as well. So I definitely understand you. And I mean, both people are really great. Andre is amazing.
They are.
Super
They are.
funny. The Asian Avenger is just so energetic.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So we see the shade on top of the Asian Avenger deck, and this is the card
Nice.
you are looking for.
Nice.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah,
and
okay.
it's the alternate art shade. I love it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 2 alternate art shades and 2 normal shades, but that's not possible. But maybe Krim makes that work.
Who knows? Who knows?
So here we go. The shade.
All right, starting out with that shade, getting the Maze Mind Tome out.
Yeah, that's actually all you want. That is the perfect start for this matchup.
And it looks like Andre could Brazen Borrow. Probably the Tome is what he'll end up doing, I would think.
Yeah, so the thing with the Tome is the Tome will give the Asian Avenger some card advantage. You like to see that card. You definitely want to see it. You attack first and see how Andre going to react.
Ooh, there's the midnight clock.
Yeah.
But we got to be careful about when we get it out. Oh, he wants to, but he knows that there's a very good chance it's going to be countered.
He knows, and I think it was the correct choice here. Attack first, play land after, keep the Tome up for a draw, and still have your spot removal if there is a rogue end of turn.
So we lose the shade for now.
Yep.
Goes ahead and plays the land.
There we go. Drawing a card, making sure we keep up with the draws of the rogue player. The rogue player has 1 Gatwick on hand and 2 disputes, so
There's another shade.
Wow.
But all right, we're taking the shade.
Yeah, definitely going for the shade here. Andre not too happy seeing another shade here. Especially if there's a land, you just play 2 shades next turn, right? So you can try to get rid of those shades, but they just come back over,
borrowing
over
the shade.
I like this play. So it's basically not a removal. It just slows down the game. But Krim is like, okay, sure, you can bounce this. I have my midnight clock, 1 Brazen Brawl less.
So we're going for the shade again. Still don't have that land.
Yeah. Missing land here is definitely huge, but again, I still think Krim is in a really good position here. This is really
he's
tricky.
debating whether or not to kill that Brazen Borrower now, or if he's just gonna let it survive.
So he's up in life total. The Tome also gives him 4 life there if he decides to draw a card.
Ooh, Gatwick.
So we could see a Gatwick for...
And we do have an Essence Scatter.
Yeah, I think this will be a Gatwick for 2, keeping 1 blue up if he decides to play Gatwick. I'm pretty sure you're gonna play around the counter here. Yeah.
Yep.
I think this is the correct choice. You will not play around 2 potential disputes. You're gonna play around 1 Essence Scatter, and Andre did see this slide as well and went for it.
Now with Gatwick on the board, things are a lot different.
Okay, so that Zenith there is really interesting. Because you can actually get the shade, but you're gonna be able to play the shade now because you play the land.
He's going for the midnight clock while he can.
Yeah. I think you also want to play a Blood Cheese first or any type of removal to get rid of a card here, and we're gonna see that he gets rid of this card. So will we see a Zenith here trying to steal the shade of the AsianAvenger? Because it gives you Brazen Borrow back on hand, which is another bounce, right? So if you take Brazen Borrow back on hand here, you have access to your bounce again. You still have 2 mana open. You can counter everything. You have a removal. You have also a second one.
Ooh.
Perfect.
So brutal.
Yeah, this is my shade now. So yeah, it's another shady game here, and I honestly think the Zenith Sun seems one of the best cards right now in Standard. I mean, every time we see this card, it's amazing.
And we got another shade.
Mismatched artworks. I can't believe this. But then again, one card is not Ondrej's card. And yeah, let's start to remove some cards on the battlefield.
Definitely get rid of that.
Yep. Probably get rid of the own shade to get it back.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can have your own card back, right?
Yeah, but the interesting part is you have a cling. If you get rid of the other shade, you can cling it. But you don't draw a card. So this is like, what do I prefer here? But I think this one is better. But then again, it feels really bad to see Brazen Borrow on the hand while you try to get all the counters on your midnight clock.
We're just going to be passing shade back and forth again. Ondrej does have that Shark Typhoon.
Yep. So life total wise, we have 8 on Ondrej and we have 14 on the AsianAvenger. There's a huge card advantage side on Ondrej where we're gonna see 3 counters, a bounce, a shark, and a removal for the graveyard. So if in my opinion, this is a hugely favorite situation for Ondrej here. Already bouncing it to make sure if there is a midnight clock, it's just gonna counter it.
So I would think maybe this is where... Oh, nope, he's not going to cycle the shark.
Nope.
Or playing the land, getting back our other shade.
So we're probably going to see a cling exactly,
Ooh.
Yeah. Just to make sure one shade goes away here, and I think it was correct because you get the 3 life if you use cling to remove, to exile a creature from the graveyard.
Oh, and he's taking the risk of playing the midnight clock. Ooh.
What is it really interesting? Drowning the lock here.
So he's clinging his cling.
Yeah, so we saw that drowning the lock here.
Really clingy.
Because Ondrej thought there may be a counter, so I need to... This is really interesting here. Found another drowning the lock, which is huge.
All right, so finding a land, going for black, and attacking and waiting.
Yep. Will you play the shark? So you could go for a big shark, making sure you block it and still keep your shark, but
he's just gonna kill it with Drown on the Lock.
Yeah, and it feels kind of awkward to actually use those spells, right, for the shade, because they could just come back.
Exactly. But now Ondrej has 6 damage on the board. Crim can easily just kill one with Heartless Act. They can cycle a shark as well.
Yep.
Looks like they're going for a Heartless Act here.
Yeah, I like that so you can use your Shark Typhoon here, but I think you should start off with the Heartless Act in case there would be a dispute, and he's going like, okay, no, I'm gonna play my Verdict next turn. This is what I want to do. Play a big shark maybe, or just have Cling. There's another shade.
So playing another shade.
Yeah. So the thing is, you really want to use that Verdict, right? But if the Verdict gets countered, you're not in a good position, right? So you need to use your mana here as well, just to make sure you actually get something.
So he's going for that 5/5 shark.
Yeah.
Drawing in a gate.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so...
An Ugin we can't use.
There are 2 counters on the side of Ondrej. So if you would technically want to use the Verdict, you cannot do it. But having a 5/5 here is definitely nice, because you can at least block 1 and keep the Heartless Act up to deal with the other one. Do you want to play the Heartless Act right now, though? Just to make sure that you can actually Heartless Act, then counter the Didn't Say Please, and then stop the Mystical Dispute. But it's obviously really hard to play all around all those cards.
It's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so he's gonna cycle the shark too.
Yeah, and now if you are an AsianAvenger, choose okay. So even if I block one of the 3/1 attacker, there's still coming way too much damage through after I remove a card. So if you use the Heartless Act here, you're gonna remove probably the Brazen Borrower, right? And after you do that, you see still too much damage on board where you have to use the Cling to Dust now, because if there is a counter, you will not get the life.
Ooh, he's debating exactly what he wants to exile, I guess.
Here we go. Gaining 3 life, but you know what's happened if there's a removal spell?
Ooh, just negate.
Just a negate. There's no Into the Story mana because we just used Cling to Dust, right? Otherwise, we could have tried to draw 4 cards and find one of those cheap removal spells. Do we gonna see an attack here? This is where it is really hard to say.
Ooh, okay. So there's our 8th mana for Ugin, which we're probably not going to be playing here.
No, you really want to make sure you play the Shade, but the problem is the Shade doesn't block.
No.
It just attacks. But also, Honey, aka Ondrejstrasky, is on 8 life as well.
8v8.
I think you should attack first here. If you think Verdict is the way to go, you attack first. If you don't attack first, then you definitely say, okay, you have to counter this, or board state is still preferable for me. So I kind of like
it with the Shade.
Combat. Going with the Shade. Sure, Shade goes out. You cannot attack here.
Attack? Nope. Okay.
No removal. Yeah.
So attacking with the 2 Shades.
Yeah, I like that.
We can get Wet and Bum.
Yeah, we can replay the Shade, right? We even can replay it kicked while having negate up. If we want that. I still think it would be only a 3/1, yeah. Because you want to have double counter up just for any crazy shenanigans here. You have actually triple counter. So yeah, makes sense. Getting him a free damage here.
All right, so going ahead and scrying, seeing what we can do.
Shark
that Shark Typhoon.
That's
pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good card against 3 counters because there's no removal, so we really like to have the Shark Typhoon here.
So they could block with their Shark, but I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, if you block with the Shark, then there's a 5/5 that has no blocker.
5.
Yeah. That Shark Typhoon draw is huge in my opinion. Because now you're on 5 life. If you play a second 5/5 Shark and there's no answer on Andre's side, you win the game. So that Shark Typhoon was huge.
It's definitely a good draw. But what's he gonna do? Is he gonna try the Shadow's Verdict? He's going for it.
Wow. This is interesting.
Cause we've got a handful of counter spells. So we start with the negate.
Do you want to contest that negate? Do
you negate the negate?
I don't think
at which point it can be disputed.
Yeah, you can't. So if you negate and you get countered again, you don't have mana up to use the Shark. And if Andre would draw a removal here, the Shark is gone, you're dead. So
This is definitely a make or break play.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting play from the TheAsianAvenger here.
So he's letting it go so that he can
yeah.
cycle the shark and block.
Cling.
Ooh.
There's no land though. There's no land, so I could imagine just seeing a cling here, just to get that draw in case if you find a land, you know you can easily attack with the shades.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think you attack with all here. Interesting.
So we could kill both shades or get rid of that shark.
Yeah, I think this is the correct block here, but you could have clinked pre-combat but yeah, never mind. I think if you pre-combat use the cling here and you find a removal spell, we would have technically won the game. Now it's getting a bit more tricky. Because now in Ondrej's shoes, you have 5 life left and there's 8 damage on board and you have no blocker. So I think you should have used the Cling to Dust here just to make sure maybe you finish the game if you choose to attack with everything.
Ugh. This is just so intense. And we've apparently got 12 minutes left on the match clock.
Yeah.
Well, on Ondrej's match clock.
Yeah. The main problem is, right, even if you get 3 life from the Cling, you have to use it twice to survive. So let's just think.
Yes.
If you use Cling twice, you go back to 11. So if you decide to play Cling just to find something, and now, okay, so go for the life route. There are some interesting decisions here. Mm-hmm.
All right. So leaving only 2 mana open, but gaining that crucial life at this point.
Yep.
And we have Lochmere Serpent now.
If Ugin resolves, it's exactly 11 damage. Because there's no way to counter Ugin here.
But I don't think Oh, that's right. They can't pay the 3 mana.
Yep, they can't pay the 3 mana, but then again, you don't know what is on Ondrej's hand. You don't know.
3v2. Looks like we're gonna cling to dust ourselves so that we can gain some more life.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my god. But
literally
now,
clinging to life at this point.
Yeah. You need to find an answer if you're in Ondrej's shoes. Land is
I
not
mean,
what
he
you want.
does have Into the Story that can
This
be
is
countered.
over.
Oh, he
This
goes
is
ahead
over.
and scoops.
1-1.
Probably with the threat of the clock. Whew. All right, 1v1.
This was a crazy game. There were probably so many decisions, so many micro decisions, because obviously we see both hands, right? So for us, it's definitely way easier to see the lines here. There were like 2 stations in this game where I was like, why is this happening? But maybe there's something we don't see because we see both hands, and that is definitely a difference.
They have to just assume and guess what the opponent has, whereas we have all the information available to us.
Yeah. So 1-1 in the final between Demir Rogues and Demir Control.
Love to see it.
Let's go.
And not a lot of time left on Ondrej's clock.
Yeah, let's go. We see a Shade and a Nightmare and a Shock. Krim is like, I keep this. And there's a mulligan.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And Erebos' Intervention. All right, so let's see what Ondrej has. A lot of counter spells.
Yeah, and there's no counter to it, right? You have the Cling on your hand, but you have no way to deal with the Shade. You're missing lands as well. And Krim is like, okay, you missed lands. Let's attack.
Oh, and he's going with the... Oh, never mind. He's going to wait.
I think it was correct to not play this here. And I really, really like that he didn't play it here. This is just amazing because the Elspeth Nightmare will always force opponent to get a count out. So if you go to the stage where you you want a double spell, Elspeth Nightmare is really nice to set up a good turn.
And it looks like Krim wanted to go ahead and add more pressure onto the board, look for another card.
Yep.
There's now 4 damage on the board that Andre can't deal with very well.
Ondrej's missing lands here, and now we're just gonna see attack, play land, and then I think
He's gonna go ahead and do that nightmare since there's
especially now because Ondrej used the mana there. So at this point, you get rid of 1 card, right? You get rid of 1 card.
Shark.
Ondrej wants to make sure that he draws the lands, right? Didn't hit the land here again. Oh my god, this is...
What will he get rid of? The counter spells or Into the Story?
This is looking extremely good in favor of the TheAsianAvenger right now.
All right, so going for that Cling to Dust.
Yep.
Getting rid of their Cling to Dust.
And you find the land. And you find the land. This is really nice. It's definitely nice to make sure.
He's getting a really good top decks right now.
Yep. So playing Tome here opens up to having additional card draws.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty entertaining to see the control player go like aggro.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my gosh, Andre!
Oh my god, we have a winner! We have a winner!
Land drops. Oh my gosh, the TheAsianAvenger wins.
My god, what? That was incredible. That was just incredible to watch. The TheAsianAvenger wins the final here against ondrejstrasky, MPL pro player. It's just amazing. I still can't believe it. This was a really, really interesting final. Actually, F2K Krim Invitational conference here. The anime villain takes it all.
Definitely turned into the Crimvitational.
Incredible. Incredible here. Wow. So did you thought when you see let's say we start this tournament over and you look at Krim's deck and you see like this is a homebrew deck. This is just a deck that Krim likes to play. He likes this play style. You look at the deck and you think like that's gonna win the tournament. Right? It's like it's incredible. No. It's incredible. I think absolutely deserved here. Ondrej also obviously played super well here. Got a bit unlucky with the draws here in the last game, but then again, you went to the finals here. Just lost to the TheAsianAvenger in a Demir matchup. Congratulations to you as well.
And
second place.
Difficult match.
Definitely a difficult match, and I mean second place is still great. And the TheAsianAvenger winning the game here 2-1. I can imagine he's super happy about this. I can't wait to actually hear what he has to say about this tournament.
Agreed. I hope that he is snuggling his corgi Thor right now for me because it's so fluffy and it deserves a victory pat on the head.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, amazing.
All right, so this is the final bracket. This is, I mean, I still can't believe that we had the upset of Holy Diva beating our undefeated Kristoff to go on to face the TheAsianAvenger. And she almost took it then, too.
Yeah. Well.
These are our final standings for the tournament. TheAsianAvenger in first place, taking home $1,200. ondrejstrasky in second place, taking home $700. There was a final match between Holy Diva and Ash Lizzle to fully determine who took third place. Holy Diva won that matchup and is now taking home that $400. And Ash Lizzle is in fourth for the $200.
Yeah, this tournament was amazing. We see three F2K players here in the top 4, and Holy Diva also she did an amazing job, also playing a bit of an off-meta deck. For me, this was incredible.
The off-meta decks that made it to the finals. Yeah. I was hoping for that.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to hear what actually Krim has to say about this tournament, about his deck, about his experience, about his finals. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. All right, hello everyone. So we have both Andre and the Asian Avenger in the voice chat with us. We weren't able to get their cameras up for this last interview, but we figured we may as well hear their fantastic and amazing voices so that we can, talk to them about these games, that crazy, crazy second match, and all this good stuff.
Yeah.
So first of all,
it was a lot of fun.
congratulations.
Yes. Sorry, I've been awake for 36 hours, so
Oh my gosh.
at this point, I'm drifting in between the dream realm and real world. Like, I don't know if I actually won or if I actually played efficiently. Chat says I did, but that's how I'm suspicious.
This is absolutely ridiculous. You've been awake for so long. You win this tournament against so many professional players with a homebrew as well. Like,
I don't sleep. That's because I don't sleep.
That
I
you
wait.
didn't even submit until like 1:00 a.m. last night.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Back
really...
to like my college days, crunch time. All right, when's the deadline? All right, in 2 hours, done. I got it in an hour 45. Here we go.
Yeah. Do we actually gonna see your left side of your head also going blue soon, or will
it's already blue, but it's covered.
It's covered. I see.
Oh yeah, we're already Grixis, and I'm in my bullish shirt. Sorry for the bedhead, but blue, black, and red.
Yeah, I mean, I see the blue, but will it be only blue soon with this Demir?
Oh, no. We like, just, look, the only reason why I didn't force Grixis today is because Nico Bolas isn't legal in Standard. That's the only reason. Like, I would have probably lost if Nico Bolas was legal. Like, I probably wouldn't have gotten better than 0-2.
So what you're saying is if this was a historical tournament, things would have been very different for you.
I would have slept a long time ago. I had already gone to bed at like when did the tournament start? Like, I wouldn't even be here right now.
I mean, yeah. Well, congratulations again.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so now we have Andre here with us as well. Andre, congratulations on taking second.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's also really late for you, I guess, right? And you must be also tired. So we have two tired players here in the final. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, someone who hasn't slept in 36 hours, someone who's in super late European time. You guys are troopers for like not only playing in this event, but playing exceedingly well all day long. I'm proud of you.
So I'm trying to see like how to respond to that, because like I feel like I definitely misplayed. I've gotten so good at covering it or playing it off like it's the content line that I'm just, oh yeah, that was, I drew it up like that. That's how you make entertainment.
I mean, game 2 in the finals was really, really intense. I have to say, I was like, this can go any direction here. Any draw is important. I think Andre was trying game 1, winning with the mill plan, and it worked out well. But game 2 was really crazy. What do you guys think?
That sounds about right. I mean, game 1, I got a little I was playing a little trollish. I was like, all right, Andre, let's see what you got in your hand. I'm gonna animate these barons, and then I realized I need to stop trolling around. This is like finals. I need to stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have that problem where no matter what level the tournament is, I'm like, all right, memes. But
That's
so you know,
your inner anime villain.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, but my chat said I'm the anime villain, and I didn't understand. I saw myself. Okay, I guess how about the anti-hero? Not exactly the main character.
Okay.
I'm the side character. Like, I've been told I'm the character that sacrifices himself, or I look like it, the character that sacrifices himself for the main character. So I'm like, I'm down. I would be popular in the polls. That's cool.
An amazing answer. Yeah, I just was trolling there, and yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, but... Andre kind of called me on it, and I was like, oh no, stop. don't touch my stuff. Andre, I was kidding.
Yeah, I missed putting a stop in the end step one time, and then you animated a land. I was like, oh, probably should start putting the stop there, and then you kept doing it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start killing these lands.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably gonna do it again, right? And it happened. So again, I mean, both F2K members here in our F2KUnited tournament. Do you like this type of tournament? Do you think we should continue those? What is your overall experience?
Yeah, Andre, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it's so much fun, and doing well is like the cherry on top. So definitely more of these, please, F2K.
Yeah, agreed. More of these. This was fun. This was really this was great, especially, you know, like not just because I'm on the team, but like genuinely I thought this was just fun to have tournaments this level and, you know, just like another big circuit to play on, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have the title of the first F2KUnited Invitational MTG event, so you're looking forward to defend it, I guess.
Yeah.
I first off, I'd like a trophy signed by Tim, if that's possible. Like, Tim, if you're watching, I'd like a trophy, and like attached to it would be a doodle for my favorite Avenger, and I want you to try your best to draw me, Tim. I'm not asking for a lot, just a little bit,
I think Tim can arrange this,
The
right?
request has been made.
Yeah.
Tim.
For those of you out there who don't know, one of the owners of F2K's name is Tim. So.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's probably listening.
All right, so what are you guys' final thoughts on the matches? Anything that you wish you would have done differently? Anything that you are just so proud of yourself for doing?
I mean, personally, I'm proud of Grim for getting the revenge for the last Invitational where we played. And he played better than me in the finals, so I think definitely well-deserved victory.
Andre's being nice. Being nice to me. No, like, yeah, that was like, that match was really good. I'm not gonna lie to you, I went into this a little worried about my rogues and like Dimir control, like this kind of like hard control matchup. So being able to play Andre, who's like obviously one of the best on a deck that I love, and watching Andre play and like, you know, learning from that while also like trying not to lose, like is fun. Like, this is like why like the one thing that always I loved about tournaments was getting to play against like high level players and whatnot, and just, you know, put your stuff in the arena.
Yeah, thanks again
Absolutely.
for everything, guys. It was a blast to cast this. I think it was
Yes.
a great experience for all of us here, doing this for the first time with F2K, and yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Oh, and chat's right. I should also say staying awake. There were times throughout the tournament where I was gonna like, chat was like, did he fall asleep or something like that?
Well, we're glad you were able to stay awake and pull off this amazing win. Thank you both again for participating. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And GG's, Andre. Seriously, GG's.
Thanks, guys.
That was the virtual handshake.
Yep. There it is.
Whew. All right. This is quite the event. I mean, it's been going on for over 10 hours. Every single match that we watched was exciting and different and intense. And my brain is fried, but I could not be happier.
Yeah, I have so many things in my head right now. I loved the entire tournament. The roster was really great. The games were all really great. The people are great. The people we work with are great. Like, everyone here put so much effort in the first tournament, and I think for our first tournament it was a great success. People loved it, the player loved it, and hopefully we're gonna do more tournaments in any type in the future, and I will definitely down and will keep working on this to bring you guys some really cool magic here on the F2K channel.
Yes, that is our goal. So thank you everyone for hanging out. I hope you enjoy the gems. These again are the prize standings and everything. Thank you again to Wizards of the Coast who sponsored all those gems. We really appreciate it. And also, one last reminder, Kaladesh came out on Wednesday. Use your code TRYKALADESH to get a free pack from Wizards of the Coast for your collection.